Alright, hope everybody's having a great Thursday. Thursday is usually my thrifting trip, and I went to a couple of places. And I will say, people are not very courteous anymore. A lot of people are just, they just don't have a clue. A lot of drivers that were not signaling today, making things a little more difficult. And then when people are trying to get onto the freeway, everybody wants to move over to the one side. But a lot of people decide to basically take your spot so you get stuck there, and then you look like the bad guys, like, why didn't you move over? Well, because the traffic was basically behind you. Just said, oh well, let's just try to ace somebody out. Everybody was driving like they had to use the restroom really bad and get to the nearest one. It was just crazy. People are not signaling, and my friend said a lot of people are not using their lights. And just common courtesy, forget safety, just be courteous. The same thing at the bins, people are just in. There were a couple of jerks, I don't remember who, they just kept throwing stuff in my cart when I wasn't looking, and just inappropriate stuff too. I mean, there's no reason for that. I mean, basically, a lot of people never graduated from the 3rd grade, and that's all I need to say about that. I mean, it's like, I'm only 3.5 years old, so that's kind of sort of thing. I watched this movie the other night, Jane Seymour and Dear Prudence, and it's really interesting because this came out, I think, in 2008, or at least the disc says 2008, and Jane Seymour is actually becoming a detective now, or something, has a detective show. It looks very similar to this, although it's 10 years later, or 12 years later. She looked pretty good in this one here, as seen on the Hallmark Channel, and it's Dove approved. But what's interesting about this movie is right smack in the middle, just out of nowhere, Jane Seymour blurts something like flipping Chardonnay, and she didn't say flipping, she used the F-bomb. That was really quite interesting. In fact, I had a hockey card I wanted to show you that I was going to call the new Billy Ripken F-face card or something, but I don't have that here to show you. That's a side point. But it was just so weird that this Dove-approved movie and Hallmark movie on Questar, which is usually family titles, there was a huge F-bomb right in the middle just by Jane Seymour, 60-plus-year-old Jane Seymour. Very weird. So, interesting movie. I'll probably keep that. It was good enough. And then I found this in my collection. I totally forgot I even had this. Africa Never Stands Still, some sort of huge 3-compact disc and 48-page book, a CD box set. So that'll be interesting to listen to. I bought this at a sale a long time ago and just totally forgot about it. I've probably had it for 3 or 4 years and just forgot. So that's kind of cool. Find stuff you didn't have. And try to buy stuff that you want, but not too much stuff, and then get rid of stuff when you, as I said, I was doing a media purge, but I got a couple of pieces of media here. This is the California Department of Water Resources. Very unusual, I know, but I picked this up at another thrift store teen challenge, and it's children's programs about water, the water cycle, Albert Einstein, aqueduct safety, water, who needs it, a visit to the Feather River Fish Hatchery, and the California Water Story. 17 minutes, 9 minutes, 14 minutes, 30 seconds, and so it's kind of interesting. It's one of those things that maybe a television station might have had and put that on, and they just took it home when they were done with it. I don't really know what that is, or you could maybe order that for X amount of dollars online. Who knows? 2005 that was from. And then I picked these up, and these are actually gaining popularity. This is a Scimitar video sampler, so that's really pretty neat. Special price $1.99 when it was new. And there's some like road racing and skateboarding, and some of these Scimitar releases are very rare. I've got one on BMX, and that's a very sought after one. There's a YouTube video on it. So this is really pretty cool for 50 cents. I forgot to say that this was, I think, $1, and this was 49 cents at a different thrift store. This would have been $1 plus, and this would have been $2.29, so I would have been over $3 instead of $1.50. I picked this up for 39 cents at the bins, and this is Encyclopedia Brown and the Case of the Midnight Visitor. I don't have a lot of this artwork variation here. This is not the one I collect. I'm not sure how many of my particular artwork ones got on this, but this, again, it's one I don't think I had, and that's always on the back of it, the Brown Detective Agency. And I have Donald J. Sobel's autograph. He died, I think, probably 10 years ago now. It's been that long, but that's really cool. And I think I got one of the illustrators that did the covers to autograph some book plates from my book, so that was really cool. Neat story there. And then this is really beat up to heck, but you know what? It's the money of the world. This looks like it came out of the 20s or 30s. Very, very old. I don't know. It mentions 1935, so out of the 30s. And it's just really neat because it talks about the money of the world, but it shows different people at pay stations and cash registers throughout the whole book. That's really pretty neat. Most of them are national cash registers, so I thought maybe they put out the book. And maps, somebody unfortunately traced that one and wrecked that one. I didn't really look at it. It was 39 cents for this, and I figured for the information it's pretty cool. So that's really pretty neat. So it mentions the 1930s, so yes, mid-30s. 35 is the latest date that I found in here. So it's a really cool book showing, different scenes of cash registers and people and I just thought I had to have that. Again, nobody would have grabbed that because it's really beat up, but who cares, 39 cents. The next thing I grabbed here, I mentioned to one of my friends that this record, or this group, is something you would always find in the record section at Goodwill every day of the week. And then recently, in the last 2-3 years, I have not been able to find them. And the very first thing I looked at in the entire store was Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac Bare Trees. I'll try to get a better look at that. Fleetwood Mac Bare Trees. Somebody sold it as is for $2. I paid $1.29, but it is an ex-library. Do not return a book drop from Tualatin Library. A barcode there, so it was in the last 10-20 years or so. I don't really know how long that's been out there. But the record itself, I pull out the record and it's very, very clean. So let me know if you have any ideas of how to remove some of these extra labels here. I thought I'd give it a shot. Like I said, I could pick up another copy of Fleetwood Mac Bare Trees and get a better copy of that and just replace the cover hopefully. So that's really pretty cool to have that. The two other records, this one looks like it has some damage from the bins. It might have slipped out and somebody put it back in. But I found Tony Bennett, Once in My Life. Again, I'll scoot back here. Columbia Records radio station service, not for resale. So I don't know if that has any value, but I haven't seen that Tony Bennett one. Nobody was going to grab that. Was probably going to be thrown away and put in the trash. And regardless of the condition of the record, I'm going to clean it up and say, that's my first Tony Bennett record in my collection. The last one here, a record at least, is Bud Johnson with 2 D's, Bud Johnson, Blues a la Mode. I just thought that was really cool on Felstead Records. No idea if it has any value, but you know what? As another one I just had to save. People were throwing records left and right and spines were being busted. Again, courteousness has gone out the window. People break stuff that doesn't belong to them. And like I said, it goes back to those people throwing stuff in my cart. Really childish and very stupid. Again, sometimes you have to shop where you can find stuff. One of the coolest things I got here were these 7-Up upside down glasses. Everybody seemed to remember those. I didn't really remember those. I remember getting them at some sort of second-hand type store many years ago. I think I overpaid, but I paid glass weight, which was 69 cents a pound for glass weight, so I got 3 of those. That's really cool, and it looks like they were used maybe once or never, so that's really awesome. I'll replace these glasses, get rid of some of the more generic ones and use those. Then I just got a few more things here. I got this mat here, this placemat here. Why did I buy a placemat? It's because I want to use this to keep the bird away from the light outside, so I'm going to use this as a surround for the top of it and cover it up to the eave part, so hopefully the bird will stay away from that, and that will cover that up and take care of that. Because it's really getting annoying tapping the window every single day. As soon as I do that, the bird will be gone anyway, and that's really ridiculous. So we're almost at the 9-minute mark here. I'll show you a couple more things here. Everybody usually fights people to the death for these bubble mailers here. What really saddens me is that this small amount of bubble mailers, so like a 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 50 cents a piece. That's about what Dollar Tree wants for them, maybe less, I don't know. But I mean, if you want to do a Goodwill and you say, geez, bubble mailers are $5, I could just get fresh ones that don't have any slight rips in it, or maybe tape that doesn't stick. But I got them by weight, so it didn't cost very much. The last few things are kind of cool here. I found a wheat penny, but that's in my pocket at the moment. The toys, again, just really crowded at the store. You won't be able to see what this coin it is, but it's the, I believe it's a Hilton. It's some sort of gaming token. That really needs to be cleaned up, but I can't believe I found it. It looked like a plastic coin, but I grabbed it, I knew what it was, and I said, I gotta have that. just a knob for probably a radio or a cigarette lighter out of a 70s, early 80s vehicle of some kind, of wood grain there. Just grabbed it because I don't know why. One Lego, it was in another bin. I saw everybody grabbing the Legos, and I just said, you know what, I don't need to fight for the Legos, but this one is right in front of me. I'll just take that one because you could do anything you want with that one. And then I found 3 members of a baseball team. Not sure if they were for a cake or what they were for. There's a guy with a glove. I don't know what these are from, if they're vintage or old. There's another guy with a glove. I thought they were pretty cool. And the last thing I got here, at least I want to show here, is this little cool, I want to say this might have been from McDonald's, but I'm not 100% sure. My brother had this one, and usually the fin has been chewed off by somebody, or the point is missing, but those were all there. And this is from the 1980s. Really, really cool to have that back in the collection. That is what I have for you. Didn't look for any cards today because I didn't feel like it. There was no mail in the box, and thank you for watching.